Alrighty, let's go to the MCG from last night. This match had everything. It had the emotion, it had the elements, and in the end, it had a winner.
And these are the last quarter big moments, TJ, where the Saints had 4 shots that didn't actually score. So they were unable to put the scoreboard pressure on Richmond that they needed to do. So King missed a couple. We saw Filippo, and there's Higgins not even scoring when they needed to. And then there's this big goal, which Brownie will get to in a minute. Terrific goal from Tim Taranto, had plenty of the footy again. But they've won 3 in a row. The Tigers and his Bolton just putting the full stop on a pretty solid performance after the Saints kicked the first 4 of the game. And Richmond, I just thought, were far too tough and too strong around the stoppages.
They dominated the last quarter to the Saints. They would have had the ball in their end for 10 to 12 minutes, and you showed there they couldn't kick their goals. But Tim Taranto, let's talk about him, because he's had 40 more clearances than any other Richmond player, and then this happens late. This is 3 minutes to go. Tim Taranto, you think, how did he find so much space in traffic there? And Ross Lyon will go back and he might watch this, and I don't know how they set up, but he's on the wrong side here, Seb Ross, of Tim Taranto, but then just allows him in a big moment in the game. I'm not sure what Seb Ross is doing there. Tim Taranto, the best clearance player at Richmond, easily able to pick the ball up. 3 minutes to go. They've got all the momentum going their way. Richmond kicked the goal and the game was over.
Always tough in the auditorium on a Monday. He'll be sinking into his seat. I did that a few times. No, not chasing out of the forward line in my days, TJ. And for that one, Ross will be really, really embarrassed.
I'm sure he will be. Lordo, Trent Cotchin.
Yeah, Trent Cotchin. Well, it's the best game I've seen him play in over 12 months. And yeah, I hadn't been to the last couple of games. And Damo, you wanted to highlight this statistic?
I do, Woody, because that Essendon game was the last one that Damien Hardwick coached. And then you've got the Port Adelaide game being the first of Andrew McQualter's reign. And he continued what was happening there. But then for the past 3 matches, which have resulted in Richmond wins, he's been back doing what he actually does best, in the middle.
And that's what coaches do, make a mistake of taking players away. And I can understand Damien Hardwick doing what he's doing, maybe thinking the game has gone past Trent. We need to develop others with Hopper and Taranto. But maybe Hopper's injury has allowed for him to go in there a lot more. He looks right back at home.
And there were plenty of people there obviously wanting to be a part of Cotchin's milestone moment. What's that? Hang on.
Where are you going with this?
This is not an inserter alert.
What do you got, Tony? What do you got?
If you've set me up here, it's not an inserter alert. It's borderline, though. It's borderline because this bloke here, I think I saw more of this bloke last night than I actually did. There's Dimmer. He's come back from the US of A to be a part of the moment there and really getting into it. Mick and the net there behind him, but. Well, he seems relaxed and he's enjoying retirement. Get that off. He's not an inserter.
What's wrong with that? He coached the club to 3 premierships. What, he can't go to the game and enjoy Trent Cotchin's 300th?
Listen, mate.
He came in all pumped up. He go, oh, Dimmer, I want the inserter alert to go off.
Damo.
Of course he did.
No, that is not a fair reflection of what TJ did.
Yeah. The only reflection, mate, is coming off your forehead. Right, Lordo.
Hey, there's a saying in footy, don't get beaten by what you know. And Ross Lyon got beaten by something he should have known. Look at last week, the Fremantle Dockers playing against the Tigers. And Nick Loston is I shouldn't say he's the Tom Stewart of the game because he's Nick Loston and he's done it for years and years. He did this to the Fremantle Dockers last week, taking intercept mark after intercept mark, and it's not what you want to allow. And I want to highlight Dan Butler had a good game. So this is what you don't do. You don't go trailing up the field too early. You've got to keep Nick Loston engaged. So this is from a centre bounce. Butler has just come up the field. You don't allow Loston to release himself like that. That's how he does it. He lets you run the spots. He'll give you as many touches up the field as you want because he's going to stop you and get involved and get in the way of King. So last night it just went on time and time again. He took 9 marks. I thought I gave him second best on ground. Could have easily been best on ground in my opinion. So again, you just don't allow that to happen, which Ross let happen for too long.
You showed effectively the same pieces of vision from the previous week against Fremantle.
Wednesday night on the Medallion Club, we highlighted just don't let Loston do it, and it happened all night last night.
It's good vision, Lordo. And when they did even up the numbers in the second half of that third quarter, that's when they got back into the game. The other issue that he'll be upset about, Ross Lyon, was his senior players just making really uncharacteristic errors. So there's Wilkie dropping a handball in the goal square. Then they stopped and Bolton.
Has he dropped away, Big Kane?
Yeah, he has. And that kick there, Damo, like in these conditions, there's 2 goals that they've conceded. There's the captain still just coughing up an easy handball. And look at the time there, 20 seconds to go in the second term, and a senior player in Dougal Howard makes a shocking handball error and Richmond go down and score. So in a close game like that, there's probably 4 goals there that have come directly from very simple skill errors that We know Ross Lyon's pretty hard on his senior players, and I reckon he'd be pretty upset with their performance, not only tactically, but also the way they executed.